Hi, this is Dee Bolton, the ultimate Biz Organizer at dbolton.com, and you're listening to the Money, Marketing, and Freedom Secrets podcast.
Welcome to the Money, Marketing, and Freedom Secrets podcast, the show that equips Shero entrepreneurs with powerful strategies and inspiration to launch, manage, and grow successful online businesses. You'll discover the secrets to mastering all the moving pieces of your online business so you can be free to enjoy life and show up to serve the people who need you now while making a good living doing what you love. Now, it's time to unleash your inner Shero and free yourself from the web of confusion and overwhelm so you can master your client-getting, profit-winning superpowers and live your profitable purpose. Here's your host.
All right. Welcome to the Money, Marketing, and Freedom Secrets podcast. I'm your host, Kenya Halliburton, and I have here with me the beautiful Shero entrepreneur, Dee Bolton. Dee Bolton is an award-winning entrepreneur named South Jersey Best Biz for Organizational Specialist. Is that right?
Organizational, yeah, specialist.
She is a transformation renegade who teaches people how to live better, a direct sales rock star in sales and recruiting, and Dee's small business expertise led her to launch Dee Bolton Enterprises. We'll talk to her about what that is and all the good stuff she has going on. And most importantly, she is the mom of 3 beautiful daughters and is a champion for work-at-home moms everywhere. So, Dee, thank you so much for joining me on this podcast. I know this has been a long time in the making.
I'm so excited for the opportunity. Thank you for inviting me.
Awesome. And so Dee and I, we actually met on Facebook a little while ago. That's a long while ago now. And we've kind of been talking about doing this for quite some time, so I'm really excited that we were able to make this happen. So Dee is actually going to be sharing with us on a signature topic of hers, how to forge your success in business. And Dee, your mission is to help people find a way to succeed in a way that's applicable to their specific life. So tell us a little bit about what fueled this for you.
Well, I started Dee Bolton Enterprises about 5 years ago, and I had started as a premier professional organizer. So I was decluttering homes, and I quickly realized that that is not the type of professional organizer that I wanted to be. So I had to find my niche, and I had to find my target market, and I realized from previously being in direct sales for 5 years that I was really good at helping women become organized in their business. So after doing some research and taking some classes, I realized that everybody has pretty much falls into 4 different personality types. So based on that personality types, I like to create systems that help them become better organized. That way they're more sustaining, and it's not one of those temporary fixes. It's like a lifetime habit change.
Yes, that is such good stuff, Dee, because I can tell you today I should say last night. Last night I had this kind of breakthrough moment where I was like, okay, I have to get my life organized, because as a mom, I'm a mom too, so you got the kids, you have what you're doing with your business, you have, all the other life stuff that happens, and I just realized, I was like, you know what, if I am going to achieve what I want to achieve, I have to figure out how to organize my day, organize my life. And I remembered, I was like, I get to talk to Dee tomorrow, so this is going to be good, because one of the things that I've struggled with is I'm a creative person, and so sometimes I'll do good for a while and then I'll fall off, and so I'm really interested to hear about those personalities, so that personality type stuff. So we're going to talk about that here in a bit. So our topic today is, we're talking about how to forge your success in business, and you have FORGE is like an acronym. I love acronyms, so break that down for us. What does the FORGE stand for in this system of yours?
So FORGE is foundation, organization, resilience, goal, and execute with energy. And so I love acronyms too, because I'm a mom of 3, I don't know where my memory went. So I have to figure out things that work. So basically, I created the F.O.R.G.E system because it's how I became successful in my businesses. So foundation is basically, you have to set a strong foundation in a home. You have to have a business plan. You have to have the little bits and pieces of that. So you have to have your mission statement, your niche market, basically what you're doing. And once you have a really strong foundation, then you can easily get organized. And organized could be something simple as one location for all your business stuff, because I know as a mom, sometimes you work at the dinner table, sometimes you work in the family room, your room, office. There's many different spaces that you can pick. So basically, you need to be organized. And then there's your time that you need to organize. You need to balance your time because you have all these different roles and hats, and you need to make them more efficient and more productive when you do spend time in these roles. And then there's resilience. In business, it is key for you to be able to get back up when you've fallen down, because there is no straight line to success. We've all seen the little map with the squiggly lines, and this is actually the road to success. I feel like everybody who is successful in business would tell you that is not because of their talent, not because of their gifts, but because of their resilience. And then there's goals. You have to set goals for yourself, and you have to set measures to obtain those goals. And then you have to execute with energy. Now, you can execute it with negative energy, or you can execute it with positive energy, but I can promise you'll have a much easier way if you execute your goals with positive energy. So that's where the F.O.R.G.E system comes in.
Yeah, and that positive energy, in order to get that positive energy, does that kind of tie back into knowing your personality too?
It does.
Okay, so we're going to talk, I can't wait to, you can tell I can't wait to get to that part. But you mentioned the O for organization. So let's talk about that, because of course, I just mentioned I have so many issues with organization, and I know many of us do. So let's talk about why having strong organizational systems and habits are important.
Well, just become more efficient and productive. You can busy yourself getting busy, and you can be that hamster in the wheel, constantly running and running and running and not getting anywhere. So I feel like time management, time is something that is irreplaceable, and it's probably the most valuable thing that we have. So if you make the most out of your time, you won't feel like that hamster that's trapped. And then there's also spatial organization. That's like your physical space that you're in, and you need to make that as well efficient so that you can be productive. And then it helps you with crisis management. It helps you with just systems. And I think also in business, if you create systems, it's kind of like a push on, push off button, and it makes it much easier. So there's a lot of different aspects of organization. And then there's also like your filing system, your computer systems. Social media is now an entire entity of business, and you need to keep that organized as well. So my whole goal for women is to make them more efficient and more productive. And based on their personalities, I try to figure out a system that works for them.
Yeah, so how did you come to actually realize the power and the importance of organization in your own life and business? Because I know for a long time I tried to resist sitting down and creating systems, sitting down and creating organization. I kept everything in my head all the way up until I had kids. And then it just kind of forced me to start looking at things. And I did a exercise not too long ago where I tracked my time for like a week just to see, because I was like, I felt like a crazy person. And I tracked my time for like a week and realized that literally I only had 4 hours a day of just like straight time to work. And yet I was doing that, and while I was cooking dinner, I was back to my computer, and I didn't have multitasking. Exactly. And I didn't have anything scheduled within those 4 hours, like strategically. So I just always felt behind. I always felt like I wasn't getting anything done. So tell me about how you actually came to realize like this is important for me and this is important for other women as well.
Well, it's actually my personality type. I'm a type A personality. And so I was introduced to a day planner at 13. And I thought that was awesome. Like, I thought it was so cool that you could put your time in, like, a little calendar. And, you know, it was the Franklin Covey at the time. So, you know, all the little different sections. And I used to look forward. I'm an Army brat. And it's funny because my stepmom used to carry her Franklin Covey in a little case, like the big one. And I had a little one that she gave me. And I thought it was exciting. So every, December, I was looking forward to my new day planner so I could put the dates in and everything like that. And then it was funny when I went into college and I was in the business program at my college, they had a class that we had to take about, and it was based on time management, organizing yourself, and etc. And so when they were like, oh, you need a day plan, I was like, well, here's mine right here, because I'd been doing this system for years. So I think it's just part of my personality, and it's kind of what led me to professional organizing. When I did do my direct sales business, I was stellar in the company. So I was like number 1 in the state in sales for many years. I was number 2 in the nation for recruiting. And I would do the training calls. And my training calls were always on organizing your business, balancing your time in business. Like, that was just the things that I felt helped me propel myself more than the other ladies. So it was actually when I was doing a training in Vegas for the company that I worked for, and one of the ladies said, you should be a professional organizer, like you have really great tips, which I never even knew was a profession. And so once I started studying that, I was like, where's this been my whole life? Like, I didn't even need to go to college. I could have just did this. So, and then just learning and working towards my certification, I learned even more skills. And that's also where I was introduced to the personality types. I always knew about the different personality types because I'm the oldest of 6 children. So I definitely know about ways to delegate and who works different ways and how to work best with them. So, but then when I actually had labels for those personalities and challenges and traits and goals and those type of aspects of it, it just put all the pieces to the puzzle together.
That's awesome. So it kind of sounds like you had this innate ability or attraction to, being organized and organizing things, and that kind of just developed and got stronger over time.
Yeah.
So awesome. So for people like little old me who, and I know I'm not the only one out there, but who are just kind of bucking this whole idea of actually sitting down and organizing their life, what are some of the common, barriers, lies, myths, or misconceptions that people have about developing organizational habits that kind of keep them from achieving the success that they actually desire?
I think the biggest myth is that people think organization has to look pretty. And when I say that, you're like, isn't that the point of being organized?
I thought so.
But no, depending on your personality type, there are some people who are very innovative and they have piles. And they can tell you exactly what's in each pile on their desk. But my definition of organization is if you can find something in less than 2 minutes. The average person spends about 55 minutes a day searching for things, which ends up being 12 weeks out of your year you are looking for something. And you know how many people say, I don't have enough time? They're absolutely correct because they are looking for their keys for 3 months out of the year. That is so much time wasted. So if you can find a system that works for you, that you can find something in less than 2 minutes and you're not finding your day searching for things, which ends up distracting you, that is something that will help. So I think when people say, oh, I need to have labels and I need to have everything in a notebook and I need to have my desk a certain way, if you're a certain personality type, yes, you do. But if you're not that personality type, that's not going to help you at all. That's going to just get you lost. So it sounds like to me you're a very innovative person. So you like enjoy your surroundings. You like to live like in the moment without a plan or preparation. So you probably it wouldn't be good to have a plan and preparation if that's not something you enjoy. So I think that's a very common misconception, is that organization looks pretty. Organization is just efficiency. That's what organization is. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a really, oh my gosh, that's a really, really great point. You said that finding a system that works for you, that kind of jumped out at me, because I know I probably still, until you just said that, saw organization as, you know, neat little boxes that are all like, you know, this is for shirts and this is for pants and this is for, and the labels and all of that stuff. And I'm thinking like, I don't know. And see, I'm the type of person that I'll go out and buy a bunch of folders. I'll get in that mood where I'm like, I'm gonna get organized. You go out and buy a bunch of folders and, you know, you're good for like maybe a couple of weeks, and then they just are sitting in a pile on the floor because you're just not, I got bored with it or something.
Yep, it's restricting.
Yeah, so let's just dig into the personality stuff, because I'm chomping at the bit to get to it. So let's talk about the personality factor. How does our personality factor into our ability to adopt organizational habits that we can actually keep up and sustain over time?
Well, there's certain emotions that your personality has. There's certain ways that you learn better. There's certain situations that you respond to negatively or positively. And then there's certain challenges that you may have that either hinders you from staying organized or helps you to stay. So there's a personality type test that I give my clients before I start working with them. That just makes everything so much easier once I know who I'm dealing with. And I've classified them into 4 different types, and there's the humanitarian. And this one's like an emotional person. They're very spiritual. They're very communicative. They're very empathetic, compassionate. They learn best through listening and sharing ideas. They harmonize with feelings and experiences of others. And they respond really well to sensory movement and music and discussion and group interactions. Some of their challenges are that they easily get sidetracked, which makes their time management poor. They aren't good at purging, and they get lost and distracted very easily. So the goals with them is to not let stuff overwhelm and distract them, and to stay connected with their surroundings without it overtaking their space. So someone like this, boxes and labels and stuff like that is not going to work. You kind of got to flow with them. And so this would be my piler, which is my mom. My mom's a piler. And my grandmother has a story. When she used to walk into my mom's room, it'd be like stuff everywhere. And my mom would say, no, I know where my clean clothes pile is, and I know where my dirty clothes pile is. And that works for her. And she can go into her space and within a couple minutes pull out a piece of paper in what looks like chaos. But that for her works. Now, if you clean up those papers and everything like that, she's a mess, because that's just not, it's just very distracting and it's very overwhelming and it's just not working for her space. And then there's like people who are consistent. That's me. So her space would drive me absolutely batty because that just doesn't work for me. And I'm very methodical. I have a self-discipline. I thrive on order and structure in my environment. I like rituals and systems. I respond really well to crisis management and helping restore order. That's why I'm a professional organizer. Some challenges is accepting other ways of doing things. Because I have my systems, because I have my rituals, if you throw that kind of off sometimes, it'll just kind of mess up my whole flow. So I need my day planner. And if I lose my day planner, I am absolutely lost. But I like to help others get organized themselves, and I can actually help with people's personalities and styles and uniqueness. So that's like my personality. Then there's like my sister. She's very innovative, and she's very flexible and impulsive and spontaneous. She's my dreamer and very imaginative. She responds to lack of structure, kind of go with the flow, kind of like the humanitarian, loosely organized. Like she needs some organization, but like not pigeonholing her and like we're going to be here at a certain time. Like if you say Wednesday we're going to do this, that's much easier for her. But if you say Wednesday at 9:30, then that's just going to rock her boat. She gets lost in her thought and she's distracted easily. But she is able to live in the moment without plan or preparation. So when I'm freaking out because the day is not going as planned, she's thriving in that moment. So for her...
What was the title of that personality?
Innovative.
Okay.
And for her, she would probably be the person that has her calendar on her refrigerator. So if she's out and about and she can't see it, that's perfectly fine. But if she looks at it that day, then it'll keep her kind of on task. And she's not going to stay on task anyways because she's kind of going with the flow and doing her own thing. Right. Anyways.
So she has you have a loose idea of what you need to do in your head. But, if something else comes up,
you keep going with it. Yep.
Okay. That does kind of sound like me.
And then there's the rational thinker. This is the alpha leader. And also people fall usually within two of these personalities. So you could be like an innovative, rational person, or you could be I don't know if you could be a consistent, innovative person, but some people fall into. So there's the rational thinker. They're the alpha leader. They're very self-motivated. They're fact-based and they're logical. They're very task-centered and action-oriented and efficiency, perfect organization. They respond really well to like technical and critical thinking. They purge very easily, but they also keep very little to have to purge. So they only keep what they need, basically, in their space. They maintain... Their issue is maintaining and dealing with disorganized people. Like, that is something that they just can't grasp. And their goals are to maintain organization, and they learn and to delegate. They're really good at delegating tasks to other people. So these are usually your managerial type people. Sometimes micromanaging as well. So those are the 4 personalities. And so once I assess that, then I sit down and I think of their spatial organization. I think of ways to, for their time management, their computer management. So I like to call it filing management. That's like your emails and physical data on your computer, your filing systems. And also sometimes I do financing too. So that's like their budgets and how can we make that work for them. So those are the aspects that I usually look at, and I just find the best way to be efficient and productive in that. So like that innovative person, like I said, they might like a calendar on their refrigerator so that like they can put the kids' doctor's appointments on there and they can put things that are happening, but they don't need to carry it around with them every day because if something else happens, they're easily going to move to the next thing. But that consistent person or that rational person, like I'm definitely going to tell them to invest in a day planner, and I'm going to teach them tools on how to make it work effectively for them.
That's really good. So that, to me, that just made a light bulb go off about why I've bought so many day planners that have nothing in them.
You just need the big paper planner that goes on your desk.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I have like several over the years that like the first month or two, like you have stuff in there, and then like the rest of the year there's like 1 or 2 things. And
yeah.
It's like it's at the bottom. It's like under my bed or something, and I find it after I'm cleaning up.
The next and
yeah. So I mean, this is so good because it actually not only, and I'm telling all kinds of stuff about myself. I know sometimes you're like supposed to like present yourself as if you have it together, but I mean, this is real life. So
it's just your personality type. You just not stereotypical textbook organization.
Right, it's not the way someone else would put it together. And I know that, you know, we sometimes we invest in tools like, you know, people who teach or have books about it and that kind of stuff. I've done that too. And it makes sense with the personality types that you just explained for somebody to really identify like, oh, okay, I don't feel so bad that I bought these programs and never used them, because perhaps the way that they were teaching organization didn't fit with who their personality type.
Yep, exactly.
That's good stuff. So you mentioned this a few times as we were talking, and I know in the article you posted on your website, you talked about the concept of organization and how you mentioned this as we were talking, includes your time, your space, your resources to be as efficient and productive as possible. And you made the distinction in your article between being efficient and productive versus getting efficient and productive. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
So to be something in the definite, like Webster dictionary, is to actually take on the identity of something. But to get something, you're constantly chasing after it or trying to basically get it. You're trying to bring it into your being. So when people ask me, oh, I want to get organized this year, I'm like, oh, well, you'll be getting organized all year long. But if you actually want to be organized and you want to take on that identity of being an organized person, then I'm the person to help you out, because I'm here to form lifetime habits versus temporary habits that only last for 1 or 2 months and then it's found on your bed somewhere when you're dusting.
Like me. Yeah. Oh, that's really good. That's really good. So we're going to get our She-Ro entrepreneurs organized. Nope, I did it. I said it. I said
You're
get
gonna
instead of be.
You're going to chase after it.
See, that's good, because now I'm going to be thinking when I say it, I'm going to be able to catch myself. All of us will be able to catch ourselves. That's really good stuff. So, okay. So for those of us who are like, yes, you know what, Dee, I get it. You have turned on the light for me. Can you give us, all of us, some tips for getting started developing effective organizational habits based on our different personality types?
Well, so this goes back to the F.O.R.G.E. So you need to set a foundation for what you want to do. Basically, this is the plan of what you want to do in your business, what you want to do in an organization, whatever you want to do. Then you have to actually take the steps to be organized and find the best way to manage your time. If you are a day planner person, you need to get a day planner, but you need to utilize it. You can buy one, like you said, and never use it. Or you need to get a desk calendar or a monthly calendar of some sort and put that somewhere where you're going to utilize it on a daily basis. Then you need to set goals. And this is one of my, I love talking about goal setting, because this is something that I'm really passionate about, because this is how I've come to the point that I'm at. So with goals, and what doesn't really matter what personality you are, I find that you need to write them down once a week. And there should be 11 goals. The first one should be your goals when all the stars are aligned and you're doing everything perfectly right. This is the goal that you want to obtain. And then there should be 10 supporting goals under that. And you can put it in your phone. You can write it in a notebook. If you're a journaler, you can type it on the computer, whatever the case may be. You need to do this at the same time every single week. Same time, same place, same everything. for at least 60 days, because it actually takes 60 days to form a habit. People think it takes 21. It takes 21 to break a habit, then it takes another 30 days to ingrain it in your brain. It's like literal science that there's synaptic pathways in your brain that it takes 60 days to forge into your brain. So like the smoker who smokes and then they quit smoking and then they take that cigarette and they smoke like years later and they come back on the wagon, it's because they already have pathways in their brain that was forged years ago when they first started the habit. So once you forge this habit in your brain, it's there for life. And so once you do these goals, you need to look at them every single day. And usually in the morning when you're first getting up, you look at the goals. And then you plan your day based on the supportive goals. What do I need to do in my business to achieve my supporting goals? And that'll help you with your to-do list. That'll help you become more productive and more efficient. That'll actually help you kind of get a plan for what you are doing with those 4 hours that you have for business. You know what you need to be doing. If one of your goals is to be a national syndicated podcast, then you know that you need to do editing. Like you want to have certain things edited on a certain day. So then you do that every week, same time. You look at that 10 days. And then on the same day, say your day's Monday at 4 p.m. That following Monday at 4 p.m., you need to write the same goal list. Don't look at the list from before. Write it again, like as if it was fresh, brand new. Do it every single week. If you do this for, I say 3 months, and you look back in week 1, you will realize that you achieved so many of the goals on that list. So much faster than you did writing that New Year's resolution on January 1st. And also, this is just helping you continually have a business plan and an action plan for your business every single day, because you're looking at that goal list every single day and you're basing your business decisions on what goals you're trying to achieve versus on what opportunities are presented in front of you, because sometimes opportunities are presented maybe not at the right time. Maybe like, oh, thank you for the opportunity, but I'm going to have to revisit you on another time about that, because right now I'm focused on these 10 goals on this piece of paper here. And you can kind of get distracted by the shiny objects, and then you start going a totally different path that you weren't planning on going. But if you already know what goal